Satnam, it's me, Shakti Sundari, and I'm really moved again today to make another Facebook Live. This one's called Sex Ed 101. That means sex education, if you didn't realise. So, I'm on a bit of a roll this week. I don't know what's going on. There's like this real fire inside me that is just wanting to be expressed. And the reason that I'm making this video is because I had a conversation with my two beautiful, beautiful teenage children last night, and it really highlighted for me the importance of conscious sex education for our young people, and also the reasons why, again, it's sort of bloody obvious, but the reasons why there are so many people in the world who are not sexually fulfilled and satisfied, and why there are so many unhappy couples and men and women out there, because men and women just don't understand one another's bodies and sexuality. So let me tell you the story. So last night I was with my kids and we were joking about, I think a friend of mine had on Facebook actually used the word chode, and I didn't know what that meant, and so my son was describing what that meant. Okay, so that went on to a description or a conversation about penis size. Now, just to say, my kids are 16 and 14, boy and a girl. We're very open. We always have been. They know what I do. There's no shame around sexuality. There's no shame around the body in our household. So, you know, we talk about everything very transparently and age appropriately. So we were talking and they were asking me about different penis sizes. And at the same time, my daughter was saying, I'm thinking that I might have sex for the first time, maybe in a year or two, once I've been with somebody for a long time and I know that I love him and I trust him. So we were having this conversation about when to have sex, how to have sex. Neither of my children have had sex. I don't think they even masturbate at the moment. They've not really been exposed to pornography or anything like that. But so there was this conversation about penis size, and from that, my daughter was also expressing a fear that I guess a young woman might have of the size of an erect penis and thinking that that would hurt. So, of course, nobody has taught these children this. They've had sex ed at school, but nobody has really taught them how the body functions, the difference between the male body and the female body, and what's actually required to have enjoyable, pleasurable, ecstatic lovemaking. So I went on to explain to my kids that, so I'm going to use the word vajra or lingam for penis because I prefer that. That's a sacred word, lingam, and yoni for vulva and vagina and womb, okay? So those are the terms I'm going to use. So I had to explain that the lingam, the beautiful male organ, comes in many different shapes and sizes. Everyone, obviously, like your fingerprint, is different. The same with the yoni. Every single one is different. And what you will find, you know, this seems so obvious to me, but I feel that it needs to be said because maybe no one's expressed this before, is that different shapes and sizes fit together in different ways. And there's an exploration that would then need to take place and a communication that would then need to take place between the lovers. And this is assuming I'm talking about heterosexual sex at the moment, okay? There will be a conversation that needs to happen as to, you know, because different yonis or vaginas slant in different angles. Different women's bodies, the clitoris and the vagina are at different distances apart. So just as an example, penetrating one woman at one angle will not be pleasurable for the other woman. It might be painful for her. So you need to know your body. You need to understand your unique physiology. You need to explore your own genitals to understand how and what gives you pleasure. And then in communication with your partner, you need to understand what is working for you and talk about that and say, actually, I prefer to be penetrated from this angle, in this position, let's explore it this way, and so on and so forth. So every single vajra, every single yoni is unique and perfect and beautiful. There's nothing right or nothing wrong, but we have to know our own physiology and our own arousal patterns so that we can communicate that with our partner and not just lie there silently and receive what doesn't please and pleasure us as a woman. And also just not blindly penetrate and batter somebody's yoni, because that is going to deaden her tissue and deaden her sensitivity, and it's not going to be pleasurable for either of you. So we were talking about this. We were talking about how my kids also didn't know this. The yoni needs to be fully aroused before penetration takes place. This was a new concept to my kids, so I had to go into detail and explain. The woman's yoni should be dripping wet. The labia should be engorged. The yoni should be engorged because she is so aroused already. She should be so aroused that she is begging you to penetrate her at that point. If she is not wet, if she is not engorged, then she's not ready to be penetrated. And women, you need to know this about your body, and you need to say no until you're ready, until your yoni, because you're in touch with your yoni, is saying, yes, please, I'm ready to open and receive this man. And when you're receiving this man, please know you are receiving his consciousness. You are receiving his energy. You are taking his energy and his consciousness into your body. So be very aware of what you are allowing into your, not even your body, before you even get to your body, into your energy field, and then into your most sacred place, your most sacred, sensitive, holy place. Is he coming with honoring? Is he coming with worship? Is he coming with love? And I don't mean coming as an ejaculate. Is he approaching you with that? Is he approaching you with a clear consciousness, with presence? Is he, are you communing through your eyes, through your touch, through your voices? Are you present with one another? If not, why the heck are you allowing him into your sacred space? Seriously, okay? Foreplay. My son didn't really know about this. He's 16. He's never had a girlfriend. So we went on to talk about that, because I was talking about how the woman needs to be absolutely aroused and begging you to penetrate her and ready for it and able to say yes. And you need to ask permission. So foreplay, he said, oh, isn't that just a bit of kissing? And I said, oh, no, no, no. Foreplay is as important as everything else that happens. It shouldn't really be called foreplay, because that makes it sound like it's something unnecessary you can skip over to get to the next part. Making love begins way before the bedroom. Making love begins in the way you speak to your beloved. Making love begins in the way you think about your beloved. Making love begins in the way you are thoughtful towards your beloved, taking care of her needs. Making love begins with the way that you touch, the way that you breathe, the way that you gaze, the way that you taste, the way that you lick, suck, kiss, breathe. Every single part of her body. A woman's body, well, everybody's body, but a woman's body is especially this way designed. The whole body is an erogenous zone. So don't just go and grab her tits and grab her pussy, okay? That is so offensive. You need to approach this whole body with reverence and honoring, and know that every single part of this divine body is capable of the most ecstatic, exquisite sensations of bliss and orgasm in every part, in every cell. Okay, it's not about getting to orgasm as quickly as possible and releasing the sexual energy. It's about building the sexual energy over time and letting it expand and fill your bodies more and more and more and more. So foreplay is not an option, it's essential. Get to know your body, get to know her body, get to know his body. Everybody is unique. Everybody has different things that they love and secret places where they love to be touched, different types of pressure, different types of friction, different types of speed. There is an infinite variety of possibilities that can be explored, but foreplay is not optional, it's essential. for a woman to open. And if you're not doing it with presence, if you are not present to one another, she will feel it, and her body will begin to contract, and her energy body will begin to contract, and she may very well go on to have sex, not love, with you, but her body is going to remember that, and she will become more and more and more contracted in her feminine radiance the more times that happens. And of course that is also her responsibility. Okay, so foreplay is not optional. So then when you finally get to the moment of penetration and she is juicy and alive and begging you and ready, know once again that there are an infinite varieties of ways of coming together in full physical union, you know, an infinite variety of ways, and no way in particular is right or wrong, but it's for you both to explore and play and have fun. And here's the thing that really struck me about the difference and the missing part of understanding that is obviously still so prevalent. My son, bless his heart, thought that once a man puts his penis inside the woman's vagina, he ejaculates and that's it. And I was like, oh my God, of course, that's what so many men still think. Or young men at least. Luckily, I've had some amazing, incredible, out of this world lovers who have gone beyond that knowing and understanding in their own bodies, but I know from speaking to many women that that is quite a prevalent happening. So I had to say, oh, no. Here's the thing. When you're young and your sexuality spurts, right? Spurts, yeah. Boys and girls start masturbating. It's natural, okay? We want to explore our bodies. Yes, we want to know our sexuality. Yes. So what happens is that because of this shame that I spoke about in my last video yesterday, there's often for boys this very quick wanking off, right? As quickly as possible in case somebody comes, or because you're feeling a little bit embarrassed or a little bit ashamed. You wank off very quickly. You know, you come into some tissues or into a sock or something and that's it. Then you go to be with a girl and you think that's what's going to happen when you're with the woman or the girl. That you're just going to put your vagina inside her yoni, move backwards and forwards in the same way that you're doing with your hand, and then ejaculate as quickly as possible, and that's that. Well, I know that happens, but that's very sad because that is the least pleasurable thing for either party. It may be what you know the first time you masturbate, but let me tell you that there is a way that you can be making love that is so out of this world and beyond that kind of short release of stress, because that's all it really is, that will blow your mind. Okay, so the idea is not to penetrate the woman and then move as quickly as possible to get you, to get you to orgasm and maybe her. No, that's not the point. I had to explain to my son that a woman takes at least 15 minutes to reach orgasm. This is scientific evidence. A man can come to orgasm in 3 minutes. Okay, so there's a biological physical difference. The woman takes longer to become aroused and longer to reach orgasm. However, the point is not to reach orgasm as quickly as possible, and the potential is to make love not for 15 minutes or 3 minutes, but for hours. That's what I know. The potential is to make love in a sustained way for hours. Hours of bliss. A woman is capable of having orgasm after orgasm after orgasm after orgasm and building pleasure over and over, more and more through her whole body. She is capable of orgasming multiple times, and not just genitally, in her whole body. Whole body orgasms, and the man is capable of the same. A man can train his body to orgasm without ejaculating, to stay hard without ejaculating. This is absolutely possible. Then you're able to build and flow and grow the sexual energy between you so that it fills your whole body. Otherwise, really, you're just using a woman's body to masturbate and dump your stress into her, and she will take that on and it will affect her. She will become stroppy and moody and unhappy, and you know, a woman who is sexually fulfilled and sexually satisfied is the most powerful, radiant thing in the universe. Don't we all want that? Women to be fully fulfilled and satisfied, and men too. Yes, because when you know that this is possible, you wouldn't want to do the 2-minute fucking dump your seed into her. It's just not satisfying. It really and it's like 0.5 of the potential that is available to you in lovemaking. Like, what, don't you want to explore the potential that you have for so much more pleasure and bliss and ecstasy? So I did make a few notes just to see that I wanted to make sure that I covered everything. Building the energy, foreplay is not optional, communication, variety, whole body sensation, whole body awareness, whole body awakening, whole body orgasmic ecstatic pleasure. This is what is available to us all, and this is when we go from ordinary sex to sex that awakens our consciousness, to sex that opens our, connects and merges our hearts, to sex that supports us in transcending, so that we are then more awakened beings in the world, more loving beings in the world, bringing greater love and consciousness and joy and ecstasy and bliss into the world. And of course then the nature of our relating would be entirely different, and the nature of our being in the world would be entirely different, because when we're satisfied in that way and filled with love and ecstasy, of course, whatever we're doing in the world is our job, whoever we're interacting with in the world as part of our life, we're going to be bringing that energy into those interactions, because we will have known then that we are one. We will have experienced that oneness bliss. So we will know it, and the more we experience that, the more we be it. Okay, so there's so much more available to us than we're given to believe. And again, this is, you know, we have been blinded. The veils have been put over our eyes, but it's time to lift those veils and really understand our potential as beings, sexually and spiritually, and as men and women who want to love each other fully. The final thing is the sex-heart connection. So, you know, I was saying to my son, when you make love with a woman, it's not, because my daughter actually asked me, bless her, so what should a man be feeling when he does this? And I said, well, he should be feeling love. He should be channeling his love for you from his heart into his cock, and bringing that love to you, bringing that devotion to you, bringing that presence, pure presence to you. And you will then feel that in your whole body and be able to cycle it up through your body and back to him, so you can create this beautiful circuit of love and presence, ecstatic energy, rising, 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 rising. Okay, so if this is news to anyone, I'm really hoping it's not, but then this conversation I had with my kids, I was like, oh bloody hell, that explains so much. Understand that men and women's bodies are different. Understand that your arousal pathways are different. Get to know your arousal pathways. Get to know your body intimately. Know what pleases you. Say yes, say no, communicate. If you're not capable of looking into your lover's eyes nakedly, vulnerably, and communicating about your experience of making love in the moment, you're not ready to make love with them. No. And it will in some way create a contraction in your body, mind, and your sexuality that will impact your life. It will impact your life force. You know, so it's important. This is what we all need to know. Thanks for watching. As always, I can't see your comments, but I will go and look at them now. So much love and gratitude. Satnam.